Hello dear students, how are you? I hope that you are all fine today. This is Ms. Isra Saad from Science Team at New Generation Language School. So, first, we are going to talk about lesson 2 on unit 1. So, first we'll start with valency. Valency means it is a number of electrons that an atom gains, loses, or even shares during the chemical reaction. So, the valency of noble gases is 0. Give reason because their outermost energy level is completely filled with electrons. So they don't gain or lose or even share electrons during the chemical reaction. For example, sodium Na11, it's a metal and its valency is monovalent because it loses one electron during the chemical reaction. And what about chlorine? Monovalent also, but because it gains or shares with one electron during the chemical reaction. And finally, neon in ethane 0 because it's noble gas and it doesn't lose, gain, or share with any electrons during the chemical reaction. And now we have here metallic elements and non-metallic elements, and each of them have its valency, so you should save them. And now we're going to talk about the atomic group. Atomic group or radical means it is a set of atoms of different elements joined together and behave like one atom due to a chemical reaction having its own valency, and it doesn't exist slowly. For example, hydroxide, nitrate, nitrite, bicarbonate, and ammonium. Each of them, all these atomic groups are monovalent. Sulfate, carbonate are divalent. Phosphate, trivalent. And now we're going to talk about the chemical formula. Chemical formula means it is a formula that represents the number and the type of the atom in the molecule. And now we're going to talk about the types of compounds. So we have 4 types of compounds. Number 1, bases, acids, oxides, and salts. First, we'll start with acids. They are substances materials which dissociate in water, producing positive hydrogen ion. And the acid begins with hydrogen joined with one of the negative atomic group except hydroxide group, such as sulfuric acid and nitric acid. And number 2, one of non-metal elements except oxygen, such as hydrochloric acid, hydrobonic acid. So the positive hydrogen ion produced when the acid dissolves in water is responsible for the following properties. Number 1, they have a sour taste. Number 2, they change the color of blue litmus paper into red. So we have 2 types of acids, such as strong acid and weak acid. Strong acid such as hydrochloric acid and nitric acid, and weak acid such as carbonic acid. Number 2, what about bases? They are substances which dissociate in water, producing a negative hydroxide ion. So the negative hydroxide ion produces when the acid dissolves in water and is responsible for their following properties. Number 1, their solution have bitter taste and feel slippery. Number 2, they change the color of red litmus paper into blue. What about oxide? They are compound results from the combination between oxygen and an element, even so it is a metal or non-metal. So oxides are classified into metal oxide and non-metal oxide. And finally, salts. They are compounds resulted from the combination between a positive metal ion with a negative atomic group, except oxygen. And don't forget that all of the negative ions from salts except the negative oxygen ion, all of negative atomic groups from salts except hydroxide group. And what about the properties of salts? Salts have variance in some of their properties such as color, taste, solubility in water, smell. So salts differ according to solubility in water into salts dissolve in water and salts don't dissolve in water. So first sodium chloride, potassium sulfate, calcium nitrate, sodium sulfate. And on the other side, silver chloride, lead iodide, lead sulfate. And don't forget that all of carbonate salts don't dissolve in water except sodium carbonate, potassium carbonate, and finally ammonium carbonate. And thank you so much. See you later. Goodbye.